Hey, it is now 5:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, December 17, 2014. My face is a little swollen because I took a nap earlier. So, today another significant thing happened as part of the preparation story arc that came to being. So I was given another clue about Alaska today. This morning, a customer came in, an much older gentleman. He was trying to buy a whale tail sterling silver bracelet with like a blue-green Japanese opal simulated design on it. And he he was like talking about it, and then he kind of mentioned, oh, is it 50%? And I said no, and he was kind of like, oh, I'm kind of looking for a deal. And I don't know, I guess I just had a good energy with him. I said, because I usually don't give discount just like that, okay? And I said, okay, I'll do it for you. So I gave him 10%. So okay. So as we got done checking out, we just started talking. He was talking about, oh, he lives up in Ruskin. And then so the conversation started. I was like, oh, have you been to Venice? He said, oh, he come down here a lot, like driving. And I was thinking he's gonna stay down here for the day. And then he started showing me, like as we were talking, he started showing me his surgery on his left knee. And no, he didn't show me that yet. He was talking. Oh yeah, he did show me that. How the hell did the conversation transpire? Jeez. Basically he showed me, how did he show me his busted knee anyway? That's so weird. But he showed it to me, right? And then just like he mentioned about, yeah, like he showed it to me, and it made me think about Matthew, because Matthew had a busted kneecap from his accident, and he's like talk about, yeah, he's like surgery. Was like, yeah, like the surgery is pretty amazing now, like how fast you can heal. He's like, yeah, blah blah blah. And then he said, oh, like now I can go back to Alaska. He said, I used to work in the oil rig, oil tanker or whatever up there in the pipeline. I was like, oh, really? Like what pipeline? It's like the transatlantic pipeline up in Alaska. And I was like, oh, I was like, okay, that's interesting. Like this guy now talks about he should go back to Alaska now that his knee is healed up, right? And then he was kind of like saying, oh, like I was up there and went through like 3 marriages. Which it was like, oh, this one is staying, blah blah. So he doesn't know if he's gonna go or something. I forgot. And I was like, oh, what's in Alaska? I want to know what's in Alaska. So oh, like there's a lot. And it's like where should I go? He said, well, you can just search online, go to like Anchorage, and just like there's a lot of pretty stuff down there. So he mentioned Anchorage, right? And then I was like, oh, is there anything up where you were at doing the oil rig? So, oh, I was way up north. There's nothing up there. You don't want to go there. And so the knee busted kind of like linked me to Matthew, right? So that's like telling me to listen to this message. So I now have more information, because back to my vision dream from 2012, right? I saw a map in my dream and a line drawing from Florida all the way to Alaska. Now, in the end of September when I was stuck out in Arcadia because of a flood with Justin. The flood that wasn't happening, I just knew I was not going to be out of there until the full moon. And on the full moon, all the water receded. See? I don't know. Weird full moon stuff. Oh, I should really put that as part of the serious topic. There's something about my connection with the moon and the star Sirius. Okay, so where was I? Oh, during that week, Justin and I were watching a tons of old movies on VCR that they have in their RV out there, because there is nothing to do, right? I mean, the water was basically all the way up to where the RV is. So, and there were a lot of mosquitoes, so you don't want to be outside. So all we did was eat, watch movies, sleep for 2 weeks, like a week and a half. And as we were running through a lot of movies, one of the movies that we haven't really watched was called The Alcan. Also, that's interesting because it's the word Alaska. And it's like, huh, like, you know, the universe been telling me about Alaska, right? So, oh, maybe I should watch that movie because it's a documentary about the Alcan, the Alaska highway construction. I mean, the movie was interesting. It was basically a road that they built for transport during the war and connect from basically connect all the major road from Canada to Alaska. So it makes it possible for you to drive all the way from Washington State all the way to Alaska in a safe way. Alright, so with that information, and the one from yesterday about the Pacific Rings of Fire area zone or the Aleutian Island. So it's telling me to look at the south. And now with this information today about the Trans-Alaska International Pipeline. Okay? If I were to put all this information together, I believe the area that I'm gonna have to look at for the next clue is gonna be somewhere in the, probably, I've never heard of that this national park exists, but where the Alcan and the Transatlantic kind of come together. At the bottom, it is the Wrangell St. Elias National Park and Preserve. And I love National Park. And funny enough, on the map I see a smiley face by the National Park. And it is on the same line as the Aleutian Islands connections. Okay? And today, I asked him when should I go? I asked the customer. So, oh, you want to go in June, July, or August? And so from So basically from the information that I have received and the date that is keep coming up, because I'm seeing here again June, 6th June, 23rd June. And the fact that my parents went there in June, and the fact that my vision happened in June, and the fact that the guy that told me about his biking trip from Florida to Alaska happened in June. It seemed to me that this trip, if I were to go on this trip, will happen in June as well. And it will probably happen between June 6th to June 23rd. And I also find it interesting that there are 12 pipelines spots. Number 12, the power of 12. It's been a part of me since 2012, that number. Oh, and interesting enough, got to share this. Hold on. Whoa, sorry. Interesting enough, today Sarah texted me that she found some. She found 3 books. She think that I would want. One belongs to her, so basically she left it out for her house because she's not home. So I went and get it after work. That she think kind of. Like she said, she was going through her storage unit. So this one is called Live Your Passion, Tell Your Story, Change Your World. A challenge to fulfill your calling. That belongs to her. And then she said that the book that's called Surviving the Future. The Indian Prophecy of Future Home. Okay? Belonged to a friend. And they found this in a thrift store. And the third book that she thinks I should have is called The Lost Books of the Bible. Very interesting. I do find the theme obviously interesting. I mean, doesn't matter how it's given, but there are messages in these 3 books here. I will give it a whirl. Give it a whirl. Because usually books that are given to me by people have significant messages. Like, you know, Rocky gave me, that was significant. Pat did that for me as well. Kimberly and Beth, they're all very important. Then the books that I like go out and buy myself. And I usually ended up like not reading them. And so that is about it. And I will keep up with this story as it progresses. And now I've got to go to yoga because my mom just knocked on the door. This is Nattawat, people.